to your phone calls, then we'll get into the raft of anti-American insider, crony capitalist, mafia consolidation that's going on, from internet sales taxes that Obama's ramming through right now to just everything that's happening. Martial law in Boston, linked up on the Drudge Report, and we've got photos of them aiming guns at men, women, and children for no reason, shoving women around. Now, get out of your house, lady. You look nothing like any suspect. We're just going to do this. This was done all over the place in a giant act of just planting the flag on the good old slaves. And commenters are in here going, try that south of the Mason-Dixon line, boy. Oh, like Katrina? Let me tell you, they'll always give you an excuse and a reason, a psyop. And I'm telling you, man, the police and military are just spoiling for a war with the American people. Just spoiling. Just spoiling. I saw a G20 where they would just run up to nobody was resisting them. Nobody was coming out. So the G20 was over that night. Rob Duke got arrested. He won a lawsuit over it. And word comes they're going to not let university students be out at the park at night. So they're out there like they always are. It's like 8 at night. And they block the road so nobody can even get back into their dorms. And then like women are on bicycles and cops knock them off and then just start splitting their heads. Because that's like a fringe benefit to beat a woman with a billy club if you're a sadomasochist, or I guess a masochist. Who are the ones that like to beat people? I guess they're the sadist. Yeah, they're the sadist. And it's like, well, that's pro-law enforcement. You know? And now the state police of Texas say they will proctology you. Now, it's okay, they say, to have proctology. You just got to put a different glove on, you see. So that's just some of what's coming up today. And I support the police. I think it's good. I think the police should have executed everyone in Boston just to make sure the police are safe. Because, you know, when cops shoot somebody who's innocent, it's not even in the news, hardly. But you know, this whole event, nowhere in the world would they lock down most of a major city and kick everybody out of their houses for 1,000 combatants. You wouldn't do that. I mean, this is beyond martial law. It's just see what they can get away with. Can TSA take your 5-year-old to a private room where some pot-bellied guy with a creepy mustache grabs him? Absolutely. And you're a terrorist if you don't like it. If it's a defrocked priest or a Sunday school teacher that caught molesting people, put him in head, make him the head of the TSA in that airport. Why not? It's over the top. Teach the slaves to submit properly. Anthony on the Boston bombing. Go ahead.
Hi, Alex. First-time caller. Thanks for taking it.
You know, I think for call screening, you may need a proctology exam to be on my show. How do we know there's not a bomb up your patoot?
Now, I think that it's unbelievable how once again, this police commissioner, this clown, he comes out, slips up again. Very obvious that he's under the order of someone else. Oh, yeah, that police chief looks like he is a total creep. And he looks like he's totally hiding stuff. Oh, gee, you think a major police chief's hiding stuff? Oh, yeah, and I definitely wanted to shout out to Dan Badande for shaking his boots up. Did you see those people when he was in that press conference? If we had a Dan Badande everywhere that something like this happens, we would be winning, even though we're already winning. Am I right? You know, he's got a nickname around here, and it's the Titan. Or the Kraken. The Kraken is a Titan. We say release the Kraken because every time you send him to something, that's what happens. Dan Badande, it's not even courage. He knows they're bad guys. He has an instinct to fight evil. And he also freaks people out because he, in person, he looks like an overgrown Dr. Evil in a good way. He's like the good Dr. Evil. But absolutely. Anything else in the Dan Badande worship session here? No, that's it. Thanks for taking my call. All right, God bless you, man. Yeah, no, we need people that are, I'm not bragging, I pioneered in modern times in the last 18 years, going out and confronting people at press conferences, because nobody would ever ask real questions. Every time I asked Bush a question, or Janet Reno a question, or Al Gore a question, it would end up being national news. And that's what We Are Change does, and you should all do it, and just go and ask real questions. And I had tried everything. I'd cut back the amount of food I was eating. I was lifting weights and jogging, but nothing was working. My body was literally starving for minerals and trace elements as well as key vitamins. And as soon as I had that, I immediately could eat half of what I was eating previously and be satisfied. Now, there are hundreds of great products at InfoWarsTeam.com, but I want to point out the 3 that have helped me lose 37 pounds in just 2 months.
products like Beyond Tangy Tangerine, Pollen Burst, and Rebound. When I started taking the Tangy Tangerine and other products every day, I lost more than 37 pounds in just 2 months. Now that's results. I want to challenge my listeners to go to InfoWarsTeam.com and to order just 3 of their products, and you will see the changes in the way you look, feel, and in your appetite almost immediately. Start your journey to health and wellness today. InfoWarsTeam.com. Guilty until proven innocent. That's what the Bill of Rights and Constitution says. Guilty. Guilty until proven innocent. That's the bedrock of any free society. This message brought to you by the New World Order and the Ministry of Truth. The truth is, ladies and gentlemen, we are innocent until proven guilty. And what you saw happen in Boston on Friday, and they've even continued it with all sorts of checkpoints and weirdness after, is a precedent-setting case of over-the-top martial law. Even when Baghdad was under martial law, when it was taken over by the West, they didn't say don't leave your houses, period. No one has ever done things like this. In Ceausescu's Romania, they said don't be outside after dark unless you have a special government pass. And basically then it's just an excuse to, catch your underage daughters out after curfew and rape them. I mean, that's what's done in these authoritarian societies. That's what they then mimic in things like V for Vendetta when they catch Evie out after dark. And she's like, I'm sorry, I was just trying to get home. I was late. They're like, come here, little Missy Pie. That's what bondage is. And this is standard, souped up, hardcore, over-the-top tyranny. All of Boston, almost the entire city, all of Watertown, hundreds of thousands of people, you will stay in your house, you will not leave, and we're going to come in your house and point guns at you and your family and bug our eyes out at you. I mean, this is the threat. This is the danger. This is what the founders warned us about. For TV viewers watching on prisonplanet.tv, or we're still sending out free video feeds right now at Infowars.com/listen as the free audio streams and video streams. Let's roll some of those video packages Darren McBreen put together of photos and videos. You can also see them up at drudgereport.com in the middle column. Shocking footage Americans ordered out of homes at gunpoint by SWAT teams. This is what martial law looks like. And it shows people in their cars, in their houses, you name it, with men driving around in armored vehicles pointing M16s at you. And then telling families, get out of your house, families that don't even resemble the supposed suspects, blonde-haired women, black women, put your hands up. Then the woman lowers her hands after, and the cops run up and shove her. Get your hands up, scum! I'm your God! In Texas, we put our hands inside you. You want me to rape you? I'm your government. I'm your God, and we're going to make vaccines mandatory. This is our country, Homeland Security. In every third world country, they get conquered by their military. For the first 200 years of Rome and its golden age, you could not bring troops past the Rubicon River in northern Italy. Troops were not allowed in Italy, period, unless the Senate officially voted if Rome itself was being invaded, or if Italy itself was being invaded. Now, why couldn't you bring troops into Rome? Why does Posse Comitatus, 1878, and before that, the Bill of Rights Constitution say no troops quartered? Why? Because they'd lived under it, and they were historians who spoke on average 5 languages, because back then being a rock star was that you invented things. You could speak 4 or 5 languages. If somebody smarted off to you, you'd say, all right, get your sword, we're going outside. That's what women liked back then. That's what the newspapers wrote about. So we had a flowering where being smart was cool. It was called the Renaissance. It was called the Enlightenment. It was not land of the cowards, home of the slaves. It was land of, you tread on me, buddy. I don't know how this is going to end, but you're going to get one hell of a fight. And now we're the opposite. Oh, the heroes, the heroes. It would have been hero. Yeah. Okay, let's say these patsies really were shooting back, and there's some evidence they may have been probably set up double agents now coming out. Yeah, the cops have pulled SUVs up, if it's true, and got out and had a firefight with these guys. You're doing your job, but you're a man. You're not a coward. You can call yourself a hero. Going around, I mean, I've seen this before at just national security events. The cops will march over, arrogant, get in your face because they've been told to be arrogant, and scream at you and bug their eyes out, and it's pathetic. I mean, it's embarrassing. But it's so full of, you better respect me, who I am. I'm Superman. And I mean, you're the opposite of America. And folks, if you're not angry looking at these photos and videos of what they did to people, in fact, I'm going to have Kurt add even more. Guys, because the Daily Mail sources us, which is good, and Drudge has us up, but they have more of the videos. Ask Kurt to go to the Daily Mail, linked under our link on drudgereport.com, and just add it all, because it's our article that's super viral. I want everybody to see this. Because, you know, we have, I mean, McBreen this morning goes, what do you want added? We got hundreds of these. Well, just add it all. I want, because people are already like going, this is only a few cases, you know, out of examples. It's, you know, it's not all of them that this is happening. Ladies and gentlemen, you're all suspects. You're all bad. You're all treated like terrorists. There's no warrants. How did they suspend going in everybody's houses without warrants? How'd they do that in Katrina? All the guns will be taken. No one will be allowed to be armed. They are beta testing this, and they're saying in the Wall Street Journal, well, let's have the whole country like this for our safety. Our safety? Especially martial law in Chicago. Does that keep you safe? Decriminalizing the drugs the government ships in will cut the crime. Legalizing guns everywhere will cut the crime. Not having men in black uniforms everywhere saying papers, please. In fact, punch this back up, guys. We have a link up at the top of our Infowars.com article that says papers, please. And it shows 1938 Germany, 2 young soldiers looking at people's papers, and then Boston. And you look at the satisfied look. You look at the satisfied look on these military guys' faces. And they just get off on it. It's the exercise of raw power that is just so pathetic. Of course, they never have them down there on the border doing that. It's just all a fraud. And see, the noose is getting tighter and tighter around our neck. Where now I can't go to a kite festival without Army wanting to search me in Austin. If I go downtown now, the TSA is expanding out in random checkpoints where they come up with cops and shove you up against the wall and go, we're getting in your bags. We don't care what you say. I meant to bring that up to the police chief. And you're all destroying your future. You're all playing along like you're part of it. This is scientifically controlled, orchestrated, transhumanist, eugenics, tyrannical takeover where we're all under attack. And you know what? You're not going to be able to count on the police and military to help us. Some of them are doing the right thing. We need to reach out to them. But it's us, the citizens, the drones, that have to stop saying yes to all this and bending over. Because you invite this. They're already announcing they're taking the government pension funds. They're going to take the private pension funds. They're going to take all the money out of your bank account. They're going to take everything you got if you bend over. If you give in, if you lick the boots, this is the plan. And by increment, they're teaching you how to lick boots. They're teaching you that that's what America's about. USA! USA! Oh, yes, sir. Point the gun at me, come in my house, shove my wife up against the... Thank you, officer. USA! USA! You know, I can't have a gun myself here in Boston, but thank you for having the gun and coming in and shoving my wife up against the wall. Thank you, officer. And the news is every Bostonian loved being under martial law, civil emergency. No, they didn't. There are a lot of Bostonians that didn't. They called into this show. By the way, I'm not making fun of a Boston accent. I love it. In fact, I think I'm going to start talking like that. But the point is that I just like to do accents. Perhaps I should speak like this. Here in England, we don't have any firearms unless you're wealthy. Then you have armed guards like the Red Coat telling us to turn our guns in. Hello, Americans. I work for the New World Order. Turn your firearms in. I am Piers Morgan. I'm running from indictment in England. I have armed guards myself, but you should turn your firearms in immediately. I'd like to dress up in a uniform myself and kill Alex Jones. Let's go ahead and talk to John in Missouri. Thanks for holding her on the air, sir.
Hello?
Hello, my friend.
Hello, Alex.
Hello.
Good to hear from you. Good to actually talk to you. I want to start off by saying that...
Wait a minute. Have we screened your call? How do I know, because you're guilty until proven innocent, that you don't have 14 dead kids in your basement and that you don't have 5 hand grenades up your hind end and the TSA doesn't need to come in your house right now and do a proctology exam?
Look, pal, I I've been beta tested over here in the ghetto for the last 7 years of my life, okay?
I don't believe it. I think you may be Al-Qaeda. I only trust the black uniform government. I only trust the government. I love them. I love them. I love them. It's totally normal. We need proctology exams on the side of the highways they're now doing. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Citizenship doesn't give you immunity from the law of war. If you take up arms or hostile acts against the nation,
like burning down
you can be
Waco?
killed or captured. That's the law. I've been.
God, look at that. I'm sorry. We had to have Mrs. Lindsay. Yeah, Miss Lindsay Grandma. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Twinkle Toes is done. What was your next point? I'm sorry.
No, you're okay. If I wanted to say something about Boston, like I said, I'm a black man. I've been in the ghetto. Well, I'm out of the ghetto now, thank God. But I've been a part of the beta test. I've seen it from the ground. I've seen it. I've been a part of where they say stop resisting, and you stop resisting. You're not even resisting. You're still getting beat. So I understand that. And to see what happened in Boston, America, you guys need to wake up.
I don't think it's enough. I think if they just say resist, they should gun you and your whole family down. And if you've got a baby, take it out of a stroller and just smash its brains out and use it as a face cream for the police if it's sunny outside as a sunscreen.
There might as well.
No. I think to respect police, like they did in the Aztec Kingdom and the Druid Kingdom, we should sacrifice our children to them. They should pass a national law to sacrifice our children to the government at the Washington Monument. It'll be like Logan's Run. You'll beg them. Because if they said it was like you'll be a TV star and it's really cool, like American Idol, if you get to say beat your child to death with a ball-peen hammer on the steps of the Capitol, then it would be good. I mean, don't you think that's a good idea for America, sir?
That's what they're trying to give the impression to the people that...
Sir, what's wrong with being pulled over and having police put on gloves and put them inside 2 women's bodies, 4 orifices? I mean, that'll be the American flag. The American flag ought to be a person in a uniform with a gun to your head ramming their arm up you. Okay, I mean, I don't appreciate you, extremists. We're going to come back and talk to this terrorist. Guilty until proven slave. Hail the New World Order. Hail, hail, hail. Is it not, my king, time to spring the trap?
No, we must desecrate the soul and the flesh of the Creator's creation.
The chain of life broken forever. A monument to our beauty. Thank God for the renegades. And I am not going to let them down. We have to recognize the evil. What's coming next if citywide they come to your house, point guns at you, and come in your house without warrants looking for one guy, knowing they were testing a media psyop? The average cop didn't even know that. And obviously some of the cops didn't act like total jerks, but they were still carrying out unlawful orders. And their whole search of the city didn't find the guy. The lockdown kept people from finding him in the back of the boat. That later came out. I'm going to go back to your calls. I'm going to do the Oblivion thing next hour. I promise I will. My review of that, the anti-Illuminati tour de force, I'll just leave it at that. But they are now, the state police of Texas now will pull you over, not even for speeding, and tell you to bend over the car, and they will ram their hand into your body. And the state police head said that is normal. We authorize that. And they are now in court defending against the indictment of the state police saying, no, this is normal. They were in the news saying it's normal. So when I say, hey, we don't know if John in Missouri, we don't know if he has bombs in him. Why? Guilty until proven innocent. Government always does this. That's why it's against the law. It's why it's stated in the Constitution, Bill of Rights, that the government can't do this. And that's why Bloomberg says get rid of it, because they're a bunch of crooks that have stolen this country. I'll call Bloomberg a crook, trying to take our rights, trying to rule our life, trying to shut down gun manufacturers around the country with racketeering-type activities. They're a bunch of crooks, a bunch of dirty crooks, the Fast and Furious crowd, all of them. They're a mafia that wants you disarmed so they can treat you how they want and be above the law. That's what the New World Order is. And I talk about, sarcastically, I shouldn't even joke. People will think, oh, it's for the government and kill their kids. That's how, if we have like a government worshiper listening, the statist, they might actually say that's a good idea. In every culture in known anthropology and archaeology, every culture gets a civilization, then becomes decadent, centralized, and the leaders demand human sacrifice of babies and children and women. First, it's bring me the best food and bring me your virgins to the temple because, I'm the high priest and I want to, do things to them. Then it's, you know what, I want to kill kids. Bring me your kids. And people do it. And then they finally say, this is usually when the priest group gets overthrown for a while. They go, I want the king's firstborn. and the king gets mad and doesn't do it. In fact, you can study in a bunch of different cultures, they start demanding the king be sacrificed. The bureaucrats, if the bureaucrats had their way, they would start demanding whoever the titular head was be sacrificed. That's pretty much what the Kennedy assassination was. This is all Illuminati stuff, folks. I don't believe in it. They do. People say, this is wild stuff. It's history. I dare you to show me a culture where they didn't engage in human sacrifice. The Greeks did it. The Romans did it. The Babylonians did it. The Japanese did it. What do you think war is? Sending our sons off. All right, I'm ranting. John, finish up your points. I'm going to come back in a long segment, get to Jacob, Lucy, Shelley, Paul, and others. Go ahead and finish your point, sir.
Just real briefly, like I said, I lived in the ghetto for a few years, and I was able to manage and watch how they operate. I mean, they operate, not all of them was bad. I'm not saying the whole police was bad, but just when you're watching every day, kick in, another dog getting kicked in, you see how they operate. You see when you're getting followed into your house, they know who you are. When they know where the drugs at, and they're not harassing those people, then it's very obvious that it's something wrong. But when you see it on a mass scale, like something like Boston, and I turn to MSNBC, I've seen the pictures on your site, and when you see that, I mean, I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but that's obvious that they're just letting you know it's time, game's over, this is what you're going to go through. And I'm telling you, when you go through that every day, because I've been through that every day, guns out, pointing at you. When they pull up to your car, they act like you are the criminal. When they got the drugs, I mean, you've watched them take drugs from people and just not arrest them. I mean,
I know. Listen, they took down China by making drugs illegal, and so they could corrupt the police, and that's how the West took them over, the Opium Wars. Look it up, folks. This is an exact plan they're following. And it's not our opinion. Either the police, the military, the media decides to join the people, or they give into this total takeover. But don't think you're part of the winning team, folks. You're under attack as well in this oblivion.
Jakari Jackson here, and I want to talk to you for a second about water. You know about ProPure, our flagship water purification system, but check out some of our portable water filter products at InfoWarsStore.com. The clearly filtered water pitcher. Also, for those of you on the go, we have the Athlete Edition filtered water bottle, and the RAD Eliminator Pro Filtered Sports Bottle that removes radiation. And keep in mind, we have replacement filters for all of these products. The ever-popular grab-and-go bag favorite, the Life Straw, the Crystal Quest Shower Filter System, and the Aquapod Kit, great for mass storage of water. And while you're at the InfoWars shop, pick up a copy of our latest book, 31 Days to Survival. You can find all this and more at the InfoWarsStore.com. And don't forget, it's your support that funds our operation. Sign up for our free newsletter at InfoWars.com/newsletter.
Yeah, the Running Man came out in the mid-1980s, and more our country looks like that. That's what we saw in Boston was the Running Man. Who knows if they were real? Who knows if they're like Whitman, Price, and Haddad? Their debt to society paid in full, basking in the Maui sun. Last season's winners. No, last season's losers. And all the people that think they're winning in this system, you're the losers. Attaching USA to having your rights overrun. I mean, it's bizarre, man. I get around cops and they like bug their eyes out and act like all on power trips. And then you see other cops who are just acting normal and friendly and nice. And you get to know these people. They're always the normal, successful, decent people who are actually more manly than the weirdo police they're looking for now. And I obsess on police because in any police state, you better know what you're dealing with. You better know what you're up against. You better understand it. And listen, we've got a criminal government run by foreign banks. We are occupied. They're trying to mop up what's left of the media. They're trying to take over the web. They're trying to track everything with internet sales taxes. I've read the bill. It is so draconian, makes your head spin. And here's the good news. People are finally freaking out. I monitor at home in the morning and driving into work in the morning and driving around doing errands and things at night, talk radio, national and local. Everybody's freaking out. Like 90% of the callers about it all. People are really getting it. But you don't just need to get it. You need to say no. You need to not comply with stuff that's unconstitutional. And you need to work like the Dickens to do everything you can to warn people ahead of this, because it's not enough to buy guns and just wait in your cabin and say, first person comes around here is deader than a hammer. You need to spend that energy in the information war, hammer down, screaming bloody murder. Because, ladies and gentlemen, they're getting away with everything right now. And again, you're like, why would they declare martial law in a whole city, call it a civil emergency? I've always told you they'll call it a civil emergency, public safety. And you notice, it's never going to be called martial law. It was called a civil emergency, public safety, when they looted. The first houses they went to were in the high and dry area in Louisiana, some of them $15 million historic homes. I happened to have been given a coffee table book about a year before that happened, because my wife had lived in New Orleans for a few years. One of her family gave her a coffee table book with New Orleans, so I was reading about the architecture, knew the houses that I was then seeing on television when they were going in there taking their guns. And then I get the Army manuals. Guys, punch up Rob Dew. Then I'm going to your calls. Rob Dew's report that's got 2.5 million views, titled Military Trains to Shoot Americans That Don't Turn in Guns. And then it shows the Army manual, how they process our Social Security numbers, how they put us in the labor camp, how they kill the people that don't turn the guns in. And it's got the Army manual number that's at army.mil. I mean, that's red alert, over the top, out of control. Watch this. Army trains to shoot Americans that don't turn in guns. And you know, this is still not working. It's still not typing. I'm going to probably need to get a new computer or get it worked on. Or what I normally do is break a computer. That's the only way I get a new computer. I just break it, quietly take it, smash it, put it in the trash. I've actually done that, and then that's how I get a new computer. Because this has been going on for about a week. Is it time for this computer to die? I mean, I know it's all the crap they make with the poor Chinese slaves, anyways. The point is that article's everywhere. Go ask Rob to bring it up to us. The video's got 2.5 million views on YouTube. U.S. military trains to shoot and kill Americans that don't turn their guns in. Boom. And it's got all the manuals. It's got it all. People say, don't scare me with this information. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm trying to get you to do something. I'll call Rob Dew. Let's go ahead and there it is. Troops ordered to kill all Americans who do not turn in their guns. 2,376,000. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that needs to have 50 million views. Okay? That needs to have, thank you, sir. They keep fixing it. It keeps not working. Anyways, I'm just sick of it. I'm tired of, trying to convince people we've been taken over by crooks. Congress is having hearings about taking anything they want out of your bank account, no judge, no jury, and taking all your pensions. They will do it. They're hardcore criminals. The wives of congressmen, in some cases, get $10 billion contracts to spy on you. They're a pack of larcenous scum, and all you idiots that work for the system, they will take everything you've got as well, you morons. You're not part of the winning team. You're under New World Order control. You're being poisoned through the food and water and vaccines already. And a lot of you won't listen, but when your wife dies young or your kids start dying or your neighbors start dying like they already are, and you look at the numbers, you're going to learn they're killing you and your family. That doesn't matter. Put on a black uniform and act tough in front of everybody for your egomania. Or you know, be a bureaucrat spying on people or work in a corporation doing all this because they're shutting the corporations down that aren't globalists right now. I'm sorry, I said I'd take calls, and I'm just so angry right now. I shouldn't even probably be on air. I'm so sick of it. I'm so tired of it. What does it take to get people out of their coma? This is an enemy foreign banking force planting its flag on us for martial law training and bragging in the Wall Street Journal that this is the new America battlefield, set up checkpoints, arrest, take the guns, rob everything. Don't you get it? In Mexico, in places in Africa, most of the countries, just the military runs everything. And there's no production. Because no one even try to build anything or make anything in Africa or Latin America because the military will get jealous of that and come and rob it. And just so you don't try to get it back, they'll kill you. All over, almost every African country. If you try to build or make anything, the military or police come by, steal it, and then kill you so that you don't ever come back on them. And so there's nothing. The whole society falls down until there's one president in a rotting compound with weapons everywhere, with crazed look on his eyes, and giant uniforms with you know, salad all over it, you know, all little ribbons and symbols. And now you look at our police and military; they're all in third world dictator clown outfits, stumbling around, urinating all over us politically. I mean, where's the spirit of 1776? Where is America? Well, I'll tell you, they're going to blow stuff up and blame it on us. Get ready for that. And they're going to start their fight. They're going to conscript your kids into national service. Your kids are going to come home. It's already happening. And boss you around about the environment and boss you around about your guns and then report you. And then they'll be on the news saluting as you're taken away to a forced labor camp. Think I'm joking? Guys, type in Army Manual re-education camp. They even use the term re-education camp. You're like, why? Why use the Soviet term? Why use the Alexander Solzhenitsyn term? Why not? Go all the way. Yeah, Mancow even was able to talk to these military people. He saw a whole bunch of trucks with mannequins stuffed with dirt that the military had been shooting up of men, women, and children. You're like, oh, that couldn't be true. Oh, really? They confirmed the targets of 5-year-old children and pregnant women to shoot. Internment Resettlement Operations FM 3-39.40. The government will get, look, when they blow stuff, they're not just going to come get your guns. They're going to put out a cover story. They're going to make it look like there's a reason they've got to do this to set the precedent as a psyop to get you to stand down. The truth is, I talked to a lot of Bostonians who didn't buy into what happened. Okay, let's go to your calls. Jacob in Minnesota, thanks for holding her on the air.
Hello, Alex. Man, you have got me so worked up right now. You are firing on all cylinders today. I'm loving the show. I can't thank you enough for what you do.
Please don't thank me, brother.
Well, I'm calling because I wanted to validate you a little bit because you talk about how people can be so dumbed down. I shared your videos, the YouTube videos, where the Boston police are going door to door and taking people out of their homes, and people comment on the videos saying, "Oh, well, there's so many people in the house. Look at them coming out. They must have been doing something wrong." I'm telling you, people are just completely oblivious to what is happening. It just blows my mind.
That's because they have been scientifically programmed incrementally on record. And when they're arresting us and even putting us in labor camps, because we got to pay our way, they will cheer that on as well. Because they're so cowardly, they will accept anything. See, once you buy into evil, you've got to keep saying yes to it because you never want to admit you're wrong. Do you understand? These people, the New World Order looks at these chumps you're talking about and absolutely sees a dinner. It's like a wolf seeing a bloodied sheep. What happens? And they think they know it's evil. They think if they grovel to it, it's going to be okay. And that's the spirit. That's why it's happening.
Well, I just want to thank you for what you're doing. I go month to month on Prison Planet to support you a little bit more. I want to encourage current Prison Planet members to do that. And for those of you that are listening, because you're getting so much traffic right now, you got to take a look at what Alex Jones has done over the past 15 years. The information that he throws out there. I mean, it's because of your information, Alex, that I no longer just hear the news. I create a web of information in my mind, and it is so liberating. I can't tell you how liberating it is to be able to discern from the news, not just hear the news. And so I can't thank you enough for helping me do that.
Well, by the way, brother, what that is you haven't really brain boosted. You're just awake now. And People are asleep. Their brain waves are lower. They're in a near sleep state. They watch TV all day. They shuffle around. They act like they're working. Big studies are out that about half the workday is spent checking email and frittering. And so they're just these lazy, shuffling, dead people. The New World Order lives, we sleep. And Christ says it's time for the sleeper to awaken. And it's time for people to awaken. And then, when you know history and you see what's happening, and you know how cold-blooded they are and how much money they're stealing, you go, oh, my God, crooks took over everything, and they've hired a bunch of subservient weirdos that love the exercise of power. You know, there are people that like to, you know, have power who will sit there and, you know, enjoy abusing farm animals all day. I mean, it's basically the same mindset of pressing on the nerve of power. Hollow, mindless, just incredibly bizarre. They're getting rid of any due process in Canada right now to secretly arrest and disappear people with their fake al-Qaeda deal. Again, the Western governments run al-Qaeda. Why are we having to give our rights up because of al-Qaeda they run? Again, it's all 2 + 2 = 4. It's all incredible common sense stuff. And that's why I get so angry. That's why I get so mad, is that I know about the declassified medical testing on little kids still going on, where they kill little kids. And the government orders it. They're murderers. And they kill kids over here and don't get in trouble, exercising their power, and then go, oh, look at this 8-year-old boy, give your rights up to us, and use our own emotion, use our goodness against us. Get our best men to go serve them and do horrible things because they believe they're really battling the threat of Islam, when it's all a Clash of Civilizations PNAC plan to build up the radical Muslims, have us have a war with each other that they really used to double back and attack patriots with, which they're now doing, and I warned you. How did I warn you? The PNAC document stated the plan like we're idiots. And then they said we'll use race-specific weapons to kill most of the people after we've had this clash. The clash is to put the electronic spy drone kill grid in. Once Skynet, and that's their Pentagon word, that's not from the Terminator series, they used a Pentagon term, once from 1977, once Skynet is in place, once the digital skin is in place, they're putting the proper drugs in the water to control us, they're actuating battle planning. This is all public. They write books about it. Listen, they're basically like an off-world group of aliens, but they're humans. They might as well be Oblivion. They might as well be the Black Pyramid. They might as well be the Red Eye of Sauron. They believe that's what they're going to become. And you can say, well, they're channeling Satan that is an off-world entity. That's pretty much what it is. I've analyzed this so long, I'll just tell you. Satan's real, folks. It's a black frickin' pyramid. That's what I envision in my mind as Satan 6-8 months ago. And that's what other people envision as the pure evil, the dehumanizing, technocratic, complete takeover, and the end of humanity as we know it, taking its time to grow the artificial skin, compartmentalizing everybody. And again, whether you believe in God, the devil, whatever, humans are manifesting. The technocrats believe that they're going to dumb us down, create the world government, orderly exterminate us, while always saying it's terrorists or other groups that did it. Do you see what I'm saying, sir? It's a battle-gridded, war-gamed, giant program, all sliced and dialed and prepared. And notice it's all rolling out just as I said it would. Do you see what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I just, once again, I have to validate that, because if a new listener is listening to you talk about these things, and they can seem so shocking. But I'm telling you, once you start to wake up to the paradigm that we are all in, like in our minds and our perception, you're going to start to make connections, and you're going to start to understand how some of these things come about. I mean, you've done such an awesome job of showing people how false flag terrors happen throughout history, and how central banks have done so much to enslave humanity. And folks, until you can't just hear what Alex Jones has to say. You've got to do your own research. You've got to start making connections in your own mind, so that when you hear things other than from Alex Jones, you're going to start making those connections, and things are going to validate themselves. Well,
listen, I hope listeners are listening to me. The government since the 20s and 30s has done declassified medical experiments where if a girl made a B+ on a paper or below a B+, they would sterilize them. And they would do medical experiments on them while they did it, sometimes just kill them. Listen, I appreciate your call. The globalists see themselves as technocrats. They say that themselves. I've been saying that for 15 years since I really discovered all this at a deeper level. And now you notice the EU calls themselves technocrats because their books, they call themselves this. And they believe they're scientific and cold-blooded. We're dumb animals. We deserve to die. They're really just people on crazy narcissistic power trips. They do have high IQs, but they don't have empathy. They're soulless. The only soul they've got is wanting to hurt beauty. They have a dark soul, a twisted soul, a stinking soul. I mean, you know, the Bible says the demons stink. I mean, these people, they stink. I mean, you can call it whatever you want, ladies and gentlemen. You can call it whatever you want, but the end game is the same. And they think you're dumb animals. They think you can't admit what's happening. They brag about it. And they're growing in a digital electronic prison skin into everything. All the new appliances, everything with them listening to you. The CIA brags about it. Just a hardcore, vicious takeover. They're poisoning you and your family. They're poisoning me. Everyone's ill all over the place. They're reporting that a 30-year-old is the equivalent of a 50-year-old now. They're murdering us. And it's just going to get worse and worse and crazier and more suicides and more attacks and more. You just got to pray to God. The God of the universe, the God of the Bible. And I'm telling you, that's the only thing that's going to open your mind and soul to defeat this. We got to just hit our knees and say, Creator, we know there's a dark force. Help us. We want to be good. Make me a vessel against this, and then it will all open up.
Hi, Ted Anderson, president of Midas Resources. With over 30 years of experience in the precious metals business, I can tell you without a doubt, we are facing the most dangerous and volatile times, not just in the United States, but worldwide. Peace of mind is gold and silver. Now is the time to invest in gold. When it comes to bullion coins, our prices are competitive and the closest to melt. If it's numismatics you're looking for, we have some of the best deals out there. Visit MidasResources.com today or go to Infowars.com and click on the link to see our daily specials. Here's an example of one of our long-term specials we've been offering for more than a year. 2 silver dollars from the turn of the last century, plus 2 powerful films, The Obama Deception and The American Dream. We also add in the book Dishonest Money, all for $72 and free shipping. The most trusted name in precious metals is Midas Resources. Call 1-800-686-2237 or go to Infowars.com. I'm Ted Anderson with Midas Resources.
We are now only entering the edge of a global financial superstorm, the likes of which the planet has never seen. Here in the United States, the private Federal Reserve is giving more than $85 billion of taxpayer money a month to themselves and other offshore foreign banks. And the worst part is, we have to pay the banks interest on the money we give them. There is now a race between the global central bank mafia cartels to see who can devalue their country's currencies the fastest. We are already seeing big increases in inflation at the grocery store and the gas line. This will eventually lead to hyperinflation. More than a dozen top globalists like George Soros have been buying record amounts of gold while at the same time bad-mouthing it to the public. Don't just listen to what they say. Watch what they do. For more than 6,000 years of recorded human history, gold has been the ultimate hedge against uncertain times and inflation. Before investing in metals, it is important to do your own research and find a reputable company. Midas Resources has the highest Better Business Bureau rating of an A+. Unfortunately, very few precious metal companies can boast that. Midas Resources has assembled one of the most educated, researched, and professional teams of brokers in the industry. The evidence is overwhelming. In uncertain times, gold and silver is safe harbor. Now is the time to invest in gold. Call 800-686-2237 and Midas Resources will mail you 10 reasons to own gold absolutely free. No shipping. It's absolutely free. And finally, Ted Anderson wants to challenge you to find any deal that comes close to his 2 silver dollars at cost with free shipping with 2 free films and a book for $72. That's more than $160 value for $72 shipping included. Click the link at Infowars.com to go to the MidasResources.com specials page. Brought to you by MidasResources.com and Ted Anderson, the trusted name in precious metals. Look, everybody who's given a secondary education is taught there's too many people, humans are ugly and bad, but only those that love the state are good and virtuous. That's taught standard everywhere, worldwide, in the last 100 years, because the robber barons took over education. They are social Darwinists. They believe you're animals, and they're doing the world a favor to kill you. And if you buy into their programming, you deserve it. That's why Kesha and all these others, every major rapper now, openly worships Satan and teaches people how to commit suicide. And it's 10-year-old girls, mothers buy them the downloads. Here, listen and learn how to commit suicide. Then suicide upticks, and they go, we want to test all Americans for suicide and put you on drugs. Congress is looking at that right now. See, it's a psychological, spiritual virus they load into you to make you not have a life force or to make you hate yourself. And I talk to the trendies. They go, well, there are too many people. And I guess there are too many Africans. And I go, oh, but so socialist healthcare is for eugenics. Well, we can't pay for all these old people. Really, you can't just grow the pie? Well, it's hurting the earth. Really? The globalists are blocking real technological development that would help the earth. They're the worst for the environment. And they'll go, well, there are too many people. And I go, do you understand you're under attack too? Don't you get that? That you know this is going on. I mean, that's the message I want to get out there. What you're seeing is the building of a world government to carry out the orderly, forced population reduction by very accelerated bioweapon and chemical means. And you're seeing the ambient background turned up as more and more people get sick and die right now. And it's just going to get more and more and more insane very, very quickly. And again, this is the reality. I can't lie to you. They want to incrementally show you the reality, so you titrate the dose. How do people that handle snakes get used to being able to be bit by them? They give them small amounts and build it up. That's titrating the dose. You're given more and more evil, more and more evil, more and more evil, where they can be, yeah, we just take babies and throw them in toilets, and yeah, we kill foster kids with pesticides, and yeah, we torture people's kids in front of them, but it's USA, USA, and yeah, we're going to declare martial law over city and search all your houses, and we're going to burn Dorner down and then lie to you about it, and yeah, we're going to do forced inoculations, and yeah, we're going to give no-bid contracts to congressmen's wives for, billions of dollars, and we're going to confiscate your guns, but we're not going to confiscate your guns. And see, now they've just got you where everybody's like, well, I guess they lie. I don't know what the truth is. I don't know what the... And that's why I get so angry, because I'm trying to shake people out of the complacency here, because they've incrementally built it up, 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 built it up to where... in the movies, people find out they're in the Matrix, or they find out they're in Oblivion, and they wake up and do something. But take the Oblivion plot line. Instead of Tom Cruise finding out what's really going on and firing against it, he'd be like, well, I guess I'll just try to live out as a slave of this thing that's going to kill everybody, just because I feel like I'm on the winning team. It might kill me in 10 weeks. But, I want to imagine I'm with the winning team, because that's really what would happen. I mean, you are under attack. Pure evil. Once you get a tyranny in place, only the most evil can be allowed to get into the position of power, the top of the pyramid. You can have somebody really bad, but as soon as somebody else even worse gets in, they'll get in. And then they'll get in. They'll get in until you get absolute, crystalline, pure, unadulterated death in control. What's at the bottom of the rabbit hole, the Illuminati? Death. What's at the bottom of God's rabbit hole? Eternal life. Just accelerated intelligence. The whole universe opened up in a trillion realities. Just everything good, everything transcendent, everything, the poetry flowing. Versus people stomping around, bugging their eyes out, wearing black uniforms, trying to reflect the darkness. You're not even the darkness. You try to reflect it like a moth to flame. Your call straight ahead. Tons of news. Stay with us. Oops. Ryerson suspect released. Was he framed? Of course. And I told you, they always launch an anthrax or Ryerson attack during the terror attack to make Congress be part of the narrative like they're victims too. That's the script, and I told you that would end up being fake. They always have multiple patsies. They'll probably kill the third patsy. For some reason, they're pathological. Big Sis pushes citizenship for illegals. Politico, immigration law would secure Democratic victories for generation electoral shift. Tying it to a racial system, tying it to socialism, tying it to the globalist conquering of America. That's what that is, divide and conquer. Shelley, thanks for holding. You want to talk about gun control and martial law? Thank you for joining us. Go ahead.
Hey, Alex Jones. Got a question for you. This is about population control. I remember you and Joel Skousen talking about the government's need to disarm the country and to get as many on welfare as possible before they drop the hammer on the citizens. So my question is about one of those hammers. Would you agree that there is a connection between the DHS buildup and the race for martial law and the comet ISIN that astrophysicist James McCanney says has the risk of sending an EMP and knocking out our grid system, causing all kind of chaos and mass deaths over time, and the government's need to maintain as much control as possible before this event occurs?
Well, man, there's a lot of people worried about EMPs. They try to predict them, or solar flares. They do happen. It is a threat, but it's always right around the corner. And so it's basically used as a way to always, oh, it's the end of the world, you know, so what? Why should I be involved anyways? So that's what I see on that front. Basically, the government's gearing up with all this police state because they've already stolen all the money. They're bringing in a world government. We're being cold-bloodedly conquered right now. And they're going to bring in populations from all over the world that are accustomed to living as slaves who will then accept, you know, being slaves. America is going into bondage because the New World Order is all about global slavery, global bondage, and they can't have any, you know, of us being free when everybody else is slaves.
Okay, so you think that this is a peripheral issue with this comet ISIN?
Absolutely, it's pure crap.
Okay, all right.
No, but I'm glad you brought that up. I mean, they have real asteroids, real comets that come by, real things hit us. But you're just always hearing it's the end of the world with 2012, and it's always the end of the world. And it's just like, it's a serialized deal people do. It's the end of humanity happening incrementally right now. It's the slow death that's hard to beat. Our shields are up for the big frontal assault. It's the slow knife that slips through our shield. You understand what I'm saying? Thank you for the call, ma'am. And don't think I'm poo-pooing you for bringing that up. I'm glad you brought it up. Lucy, in Minnesota, you're on the air.
Hi. I'm calling about an article you had on InfoWars yesterday about the younger brother and what he posted on Facebook.
Yes.
There's a lot more to that story. I actually saw the posting early that morning before he was arrested. And I wanted to get a hold of you to send you some photos of the pages that they replaced his with. Do you have your tip line?
Yes. We'll put you on hold, guys. You have the tip line hanging up on the wall in there, and we can give that tip line number out to you, ma'am.
Okay. Would you like to know what happened?
Sure. You're on the air.
That morning, I went on Facebook to look at his page because I was reading an article on MSN that said he used social media, and I was just curious about him. And I saw the posting that he made, and so I showed it to my son, and then I went and wrote it down. I should have taken a photo of it, but you have the photo of it already. Then I looked up his brother's page, and that one was basically empty. There wasn't any photos or pictures of his friends or anything on it, so I went back to, what's his name? Johan.
All right, well, thank you. Janet Napolitano, immigration bill, important step, though obviously she hasn't read the 800-page bill. Politico says it will cause a generational shift and guaranteed democratic takeover of everything. It's globalist takeover to foreigners. Hey, come in, we'll give you free stuff because you come from countries where no guns are allowed and you're slaves. You want to help bring down America? Come on. And if you actually downloaded info into these foreigners about liberty and freedom and taught them, it wouldn't be that big of a problem. But it's just the end of the country. But, I mean, by then it won't even matter, folks. The globalists are accelerating their entire program so fast right now to pull everything down and then have national security states around them protecting them while they implode you and your family as an act of domination and control. And I just look at the slug-like, demonic evil with her Superman, you know, hair and everything of Janet Napolitano and all her lies and all the stuff she stages. And it's all just filth. Just filth ruling over us. Internet security bill, the total takeover into free speech. CISPA moves to the Senate. Employees would be forced to divulge Facebook passwords. That's because the companies are all going to be being paid to data mine you. It's all about getting paid to spy to make it ubiquitous. Then the law, then not pay you anymore. It's how slavery works. And it just continues on from that point. And good people are standing down, and criminality is just overrunning us at every level. Let's go ahead and go to your calls. Paul in Ontario, Canada, you're on the air. Thanks for holding.
Hey, Alex, how you doing?
Oh, I kind of got into a ranting mood today.
Oh, I noticed. Anyways, you had a post up on InfoWars. It was a link to the Opie and Anthony show. I just thought it was an innocuous clip. I ended up listening. At the 2:50 mark, while this eyewitness is recounting his experience, you hear police radio in the background.
Yeah, I noticed that. I don't even know why Steve Watson, I think who was updating this morning, even put that up. I mean, because it says eyewitness, recounts. And it's funny, I listened to it this morning, and it sounds like a cop putting out an official story. And we've seen a lot of that because there's a lot of other witnesses saying they ran over the guy with the car, they shot him up, and things like that. And so, yeah, you're right. I actually heard that in there, and I remember noticing, and I was driving in the morning listening to that clip. I had it plugged into my dash, listening to the YouTube video, and I heard that as well.
Yeah, at about the 4-minute mark, there's another point where he says, and this show was on Monday, and the event was Friday, right? There's one point where he says, "Oh, my truck is probably riddled with bullet holes." What did you couldn't go outside all Friday, so you decided not to go out Saturday, Sunday, or Monday morning? He didn't drive. He didn't even go check on his car.
It's funny, and I'm also bashed on the clip, which I don't mind. I didn't listen to the whole thing, but I did notice all that. Yes, sir, I did notice that. And meant to make a note of it. In fact, I'll give people the exact headline. I think it's like witness to shootout, or it'll be in the archive, the featured news archive link, guys, there, and I'll come show you where it is.
As significant as anything else you said. I just figured it's another piece of the puzzle. Why not throw it out there, right?
Yeah, I actually thought I heard that, what you said. I'm just so busy, I never even checked into it. So it looks like even though, maybe Steve Watson was trying to, quote, show both sides. I don't know, because we had witnesses up there yesterday saying they, laid him out, basically shot him up and ran the car over him. But government wouldn't do that. I mean, they do medical experiments on little kids and murder them, but that's loving. In fact, maybe we should have a national day of thanks for all the troops the government nerve gassed to death in different programs like Portends and Project Shad and other stuff. I mean, yeah, there it is. Eyewitness describes Watertown shootout. And guys, go to the 2:50 mark, you said?
Yeah, 2:50 to 3 minutes, there's a police radio going on, and about 4 minutes is where he makes the remark about his car.
Yeah. Well, the police don't engage in psyops, so I think we should worship government. Thank you for the call. Very extreme phone call there. We all heard the police say, let's burn his cabin down, burn that bleeper down, burn it down. Okay, we're getting the fire to burn it down. Okay, we're placing the fire, it's ignited, it's burning down. But first they said that those tapes weren't real, and they said, well, they're real, but we didn't mean that. And everything's fine. And again, I say take more shots and drink more fluoride water and eat more GMO, even though it kills the rats in the studies. Okay, Samuel in New Jersey, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, I haven't listened to you guys over the past couple of days, and I don't know if you noticed this, but if you look at the two pictures of the Boston bombing suspects that they have with the backpacks on, one of them has a gray backpack, the other one has a white backpack, but the backpack with the bomb in it was black.
Yep, no, both the bombs were in black backpacks, and we had people there at the scene with the exact same backpacks, and you had everybody there with black backpacks because it was part of the drill so that nobody found the real bomb. And then the CNN was quick to say, well, they unzipped it with the pressure cooker. Though we're doing a behind-the-scenes study with that very pressure cooker. Looks like you couldn't cram it in there and then put it in another backpack. Plus, they had small backpacks. If the glove doesn't fit, you must acquit.
Yeah, another thing that I forgot to tell while they were asking me what I was going to say is there's actually more about the Federal Reserve. I don't know if you ever heard of Executive Order 1110.
Yeah, Kennedy signed it, and 1 month later they blew his head off in front of everybody, and they had guys lined up with guns like a firing squad, and over 100 people saw it, and then so they murdered all those people. and it's even on the film. You see the pools of smoke, and have you been at the grassy knoll? I mean, it's like 30 yards to Kennedy, and everybody saw it. The policemen all ran up there, but you know, government loves us, sir. I mean, look, the government, again, taking foster children and murdering them in radiation and pesticide tests, even just a few years ago, is loving. So they would never kill a president. Okay.
Another thing I just want to say, you know, I probably listen to you almost every day, and I'm actually 14 years old, and, you know, when I first started talking about stuff like this, people, you know, it was kind of annoying or embarrassing, but I just learned not to care anymore, or people can be, I mean, you know, you probably have so many people that hate you or make fun of you or call you crazy or stuff like this, but, you know,
No, they're the ones that are crazy. Look at this CNS news story. Teacher sues school over suspension for weapons charge, showing students gardening tools to teach them how to garden. You know, I mean, I saw a story where the valedictorian got her degree, her diploma taken for a year, had to go back to school because on the last day of school, she brought a pie, I think it was key lime, to school to go to her teacher's after-school party. That's the teacher's pet, to cut it up and give pie. But the good news is that the security guard walked by, saw the plastic pixie butter knife, and made the arrest. And then I saw another case where it was salutatorian had was moving out that next day to go to college. They were already getting into summer school college, you know, the salutatorian, and she again had a set of knives, forks, and spoons with butter knives with a slightly serrated edge. The security guard, the slave guard, saw that, and the arrest was made. And, of course, we've all heard about those stories. Isn't that good, sir? You don't want to be an extremist, do you?
You know, like, yeah, back in the 40s, no one hated guns. I don't understand. When do we fail our generation with weapons? I mean, weapons.
Well, sir, here's the deal. None of it makes sense because it's not meant to. Psych warfare chiefs whose religion is eugenics are in control, and they've got delusions of grandeur, how they're going to merge with machines and live forever. I don't know if that's really going to happen. That's their public plan. Ray Kurzweil, all of them. Watch my film, Endgame Blueprint for Global Enslavement. All the big billionaires that are in the globalist club give tens of millions a year to these big laboratories and think tanks, because when you got everything, what do you want? More life. What does Roy Batty want at Tyrell Corporation in Blade Runner? What's he want? What's he want, Samuel?
I don't know.
I want more life. And then he adds an expletive to it.
New Jersey is the worst. Because, I mean, I went down to Cabela's in Pennsylvania and bought a BB gun. It was like $50. I go down to Sporting Goods in New Jersey, see the same exact BB gun with a state-of-the-art trigger guard with bulletproof glass on it, so no one can get to the BB gun. I mean, it's a BB gun.
Well, no. Citizens with the image of a gun must be illegalized. I'm inventing words. You know, must be made illegal. But then government armed to the teeth, violating our rights, that must be made the ambrosia of liberty. See, USA Liberty is a city under martial law with housewives being drug out at gunpoint and cops shoving them up against walls in the sacrament of power. Because if they can shove you up against a wall, they can take your kids. And if they can do that for no reason, they can make you take shots. And they can take your bank account because you're not needed anymore. And those cops aren't going to be needed anymore soon with the robots and the robotics and the drones submarines, the drone ships, the drone aircraft, the combat robots on the ground. It's over. The decision's been made to poison us, dumb us down, just put out so much garbage on media, no one can tell the difference between real death and simulated death. We're just a bunch of brainwashed zombies drooling, waiting for the end. Well, not me. I'm not going down without a fight, ladies and gentlemen, and it's an info war. Thank you for the call. All right, let's go to Jeff and Julie, and we'll go to Marty and Jim and many others straight ahead. I'm Alex Jones. Wake up or lay down and die.
Hi, this is Mike Adams, the Health Ranger, with some news about some new additions to the InfoWars store. You know, good health is freedom. When you're healthy, you're not a slave to the medical system. Everything works well, your brain, your body, even your spirit. You're a healthier person. And to help support that great health, Alex has asked me to source the cleanest, most potent superfoods and other similar products in the world and bring them to the InfoWars store. So we've done that. The brand name is Health Ranger Select, and we're starting out right now with these 3 products. We've got Himalayan salt from Pakistan, formed hundreds of thousands of years ago in an ancient seabed long before modern pollution destroyed much of the oceans. This is loaded with trace minerals, and it's pristine, true, full-spectrum sea salt. We've also got Natural Attitude Turmeric. It's an extract of turmeric, very potent, tastes great, alcohol-free. This is from organic turmeric out of India. And we've also got Clean Chlorella. And we sourced and did research on all the chlorella sources around the world, and we found the 2 cleanest sources that have the lowest levels of any kind of contaminants. In fact, this one is virtually free of all metals and all contaminants. It's called Clean Chlorella, and it's about 2/3 protein, and it's got chlorophyll and chlorella growth factor in it. Check it out online. It's an amazing superfood that athletes are using and people are using to help support healthy lifestyles. It's fantastic. This is all packaged in our certified organic facility here in Central Texas. There we follow USDA certified standards, and we're audited every year by the USDA certifier to make sure that we comply with all organic standards. That, combined with the fact that we only source super clean superfoods and raw materials from around the world, means that our products represent the cleanest and most potent products that you'll find across the natural products industry. Check all of these out under the Health Ranger Select brand name at the InfoWars store, InfoWarsStore.com. And we'll be bringing you more of these in the near future. Thanks and take care.
All right, let's continue with your phone calls, and I'll get into more news coming up. And I will spend a few minutes talking about Oblivion, but I'm so wound up now I may do it on the nightly news tonight, do it properly. We're going to play a clip coming up. It's on drudgereport.com, at the news website Politico.com, and it's titled Ted Cruz asked Janet Napolitano if she's read the immigration bill. So we're going to cover that. Right now, let's go to Jeff in Texas. Jeff, you're on the air. Go ahead. Yeah, turn your radio off, bud. Do me a favor. Okay, that's not going to work. They got him.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. Go ahead.
Hey, I've been awake since about, let's see, when George Bush Jr. became our president. And I got awake when he wouldn't close the borders down, when he said, oh, all the terrorists were coming in, and the guy wouldn't close the borders. And I'd be like, okay, there's supposed to be a terrorist threat, but you won't close our border?
No, I mean, it's just all totally meant to be transparent. They're just training us. They're going to ask for mass sacrifice of our kids soon publicly. I'm telling you. People don't believe that. They're already saying kill babies up to age 3. Ha, 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 the baby drowned in the toilet. Kill the babies. Kill, kill, kill. You know, I mean, it's just a bunch of sick freaks.
You're right. And the Illuminati, I did a video called 2012 Illuminati Movie and Game Awards. And I showed in all these movies with G.I. Joe, with Cobra taking over the White House, with Bruce Wayne being in a FEMA camp, with the game, what is it called? Rainbow Six Patriots. Have you seen that game?
No, but I've heard about it, where they put you in camps and torture people.
No, in the game, if you look up the trailer when you get a chance and show it, it shows the Patriots strapping a bomb to a banker and saying, we're tired of you bankers controlling the U.S. We Patriots need to take over, and they throw the banker out of the window and blow him up. And the Patriots are the bad guys.
Yeah, but I think on that show and a bunch of others, that video game, there's a bunch of them, because I've seen the clips where the Patriots are the terrorists, but also get put in the camp, and then you torture the militiaman as a U.S. Army person to save the children.
Yeah, I haven't seen all that, but also with the movie Hunger Games, to me, that's a movie that's just showing where they want the U.S. to go.
No, that's actually in the UN Biological Diversity Assessment 1996, the full one. I have screenshots of my film Road to Tyranny. I had to go to UT to get the actual document, you know, the full document, not just the boil down. And it said, we want to bring in world government and reestablish gladiatorial games and human sacrifice to reduce world population.
And also, you were talking about internment resettlement. Well, I go to the website and type it in, and guess what comes up? GoArmy.com, career and jobs, internment resettlement specialist.
And in it, it shows how to process your Social Security number, how to break the families up, and how to put, it says people that, that are politically a problem, how to, quote, re-educate them. Mm-hmm.
Well, if I may read, the job duties are supervision of confinement and detention operations, internal security to facilities, and this one kind of blew my mind, counseling guidance to individual prisoners within a rehabilitation program. Nice.
Yes, sir, I hear you.
All right. Well, thank you, Alex.
We're going to go back to more of your phone calls here. We're just doing our best to get people thinking, to get people understanding what's happening and what's going on in our society. And today we played earlier in the show 3 different clips that Darren McBreen put together. We played those a lot for people on air that show all the martial law stuff going on. One of them is called Home Searches. There you go. And for TV viewers, and people pointing guns at you, and people being drug out of their houses, and DrudgeReport.com is linked to these videos and articles right now. And this physically gets to me, because I know this is real. I know this is happening. This isn't about entertainment. It's not about a show. It's not about they use the Muslim threat that they manufactured as the pretext to set up a police state that's always been aimed at us. And it's all about a bunch of guys playing soldier. They're the new superclass. We're the general public scum. Government is God. They get the red carpet. They're the movie stars. We're going to go to break and come back with Julie, Marty, Chris, and Jim. That'll be it for calls until the nightly news, 7 o'clock Central, because I want to hit a bunch of news I haven't gotten to yet. But, hey, don't forget this is all going on. Here's Huffington Post celebrating on Sunday. California gun confiscation bill passes. This is not an Alex Jones article. They're very proud of it. Approves $24 million to expedite illegal gun seizure. And it says if you've ever visited a psychologist, period, you'll have your guns taken. You're being declared mentally ill. And many different semi-autos are illegal, period, so you'll be getting SWAT team rated to scare everybody else and turning them in, SB 140. And that's just the beginning of the funding. They do not obtain search warrants. It actually says that. They're very proud of that in the article right here. It actually says do not obtain search warrants. There's no more warrants. Fourth Amendment's gone for that as well. And it's just all the new freedom. So I hope you all enjoy that. They're the model. But no one wants your guns, though. Visit Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. When you're on the site, you can also tune in 24 hours a day to my daily radio broadcast. There's also a free iPhone app to listen to the syndicated radio show when and where you want.